Howdy, howdy. Ooh, that is loud. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show.
This is what happens when we leave. People,
Yeah. Well, y'all had the
elves come in and...
Mallory was the last one to touch the thing,
I
so...
stand by my statement.
Yeah.
I stand by what I said. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. I'm Greg, that's Ashley, and we're back. We're back after a brief respite, a brief hiatus for the holidays. And it was a great holiday break.
Is that a grill?
Yeah.
That's cool. When'd you do that?
What?
What is that?
It's a barbecue?
Oh.
This is it was a good break, and I don't want to steal the show, but I got a pretty major personal announcement to make.
Okay.
Big things happening in the Tepper household. Really excited to make a major personal announcement. But first, let's ask Ashley Pickle. Pickle, how's your break?
Yeah, it was fine. Nothing too big at all.
Okay. You don't want to... So what'd you do? Like, what was the highlight of your break?
The highlight was probably that I got engaged. And I'm very excited. So, nothing big. It's just a normal holiday break.
To who?
To my now, this is weird to say, fiance, Brian.
It won't get any less weird.
Yeah, that's different. I don't know if I've said that like out loud to anyone other than like him. So
now you can do it. You are both fiancés.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
Pickle.
you. We are very excited.
My wife was freaking out when you texted me. Do you want to tell the people what happened?
Yeah.
Or you don't have to. This is your story. You can share as much or as little as you want. But I figure we should probably tell the people.
Yeah.
Your big news.
So I had it was December 28th. I had Cotton Bowl practice that day because I had the Cotton Bowl on December 29th.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian came and picked me up from Cotton Bowl practice, and he said, "Hey, let's go get dinner in Fort Worth." It was like our last night of the break without like other plans. And so I said, okay. And so we made it down to downtown Fort Worth, and we were there a little bit early. So we went and grabbed a drink beforehand, and then he said that our dinner reservations...
Wait a second. He had a drink beforehand?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I get that. That tracks, honestly. As somebody who has proposed to a woman before,
he was nervous.
Little liquid courage
probably helped.
Yeah, you could, it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So he said that our dinner reservations were at 6:30, and so around like 6:05 he was like, "Hey, let's go ahead and start kind of walking that way." And we had talked about walking past Sundance Square because the big old Christmas tree,
yeah.
and I was
Still
super
very
hyped about
Christmassy.
that. I love Christmas. Super pumped about that. So we get over there. And there was a lady that could tell we were kind of looking for someone just to take our photo.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Hey, would y'all like me to take your photo?" Said, "Okay, great." Handed her his phone. She took the photo. She handed the phone back. She's like, "Let me know how it is." So I'm sitting there looking, and all of a sudden this bright flash goes off. And I like look up, and there is a photographer taking my photo. And it wasn't on the phone; it was big old camera.
And to be clear, this happens to you a lot. You're a
yeah. Oh
celebrity,
yeah. Right.
You
Yeah. So it's just another normal
classic
Wednesday night.
Paparazzo. It happens.
Or Thursday night, I guess. And so then I look, and then he was on one knee. So he, I said yes. That
Good.
seems important to.
Did you say it?
Did
you say it quickly? My wife did not say it quickly.
Yes. Well, I think we both kind of blacked out for a second.
Yeah, it'll happen.
He kind of word vomited there. He was, "Will you marry me?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, I will." And then we went to dinner afterwards. So it was awesome. He did a great job, and I was really excited.
It is a beautiful ring. He did really well.
Yes, he did a fantastic job. Really excited about for him hiring a photographer too, because now we will always have those photos. So it was great. Good job, Brian.
Good job, Brian. Because the ring shopping, and I talked with I saw him at the Cotton Bowl.
Yes, which is a whole other story because I had to take my ring off to do the Cotton Bowl because, which was the hardest thing. Oh, there's two funny stories real fast. I'll get to that one real fast, but it was the hardest thing to take the ring off. It's the day after you get engaged. You're so incredibly excited. You just want to look at it. And then it's like, got to go work the Cotton Bowl. And I told him, I was like, I'm going to be on the big board and people always take photos. I was like, there's no avoiding it. I have to take it off. So we wanted to keep it private for a couple of days. The other real quick funny story.
This is a dumb question. You were on a stick mic, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know, are you?
I was holding it with my right hand,
Okay.
but I talk so much.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm not going to like do this and someone's going to catch it.
Absolutely.
But the other real quick funny story, Mallory was the only person that knew. Mm-hmm. My parents knew, they just didn't know when.
Your parents knew generally.
Generally,
Yeah.
yes. And Mallory was the only person that knew. One, Mallory like wouldn't talk to me all Christmas break, and I thought I did something to like make her mad. Turns out she was just worried that she was gonna spill the beans.
That's fine though. That's an acceptable. Like you know, an acceptable span of like, well, we're just not going to talk very much. You know,
yeah.
I'd rather you do that than like
accidentally
let something slip. Yeah, exactly right.
So she did talk to me a little bit that day, and because
she knew like all the details.
She knew all the details.
Okay.
Yeah, she had known for a couple of weeks at that point, which is why she was like, "I'm not talking to you. I cannot talk to you." But that night, literally about 10 minutes before it happened, we were sitting at that bar having a drink, and I saw a tweet that said, it's a college football thing you wouldn't understand. And so it was a picture of, like, the Cheez-It Bowl mascot, the Pop-Tart, Duke's Mayo, all that stuff. So I text Mallory, and he had told her it was going to happen around 6. It's like 5:56 at this point. So she thinks that I'm fixing to text her and be like, oh, my God, we're engaged. I text her asking for her selfie of her and Blade, the mascot from UIL State. I said, hey.
To be clear, Blade is not dumb. Blade
is awesome.
But the Duke's Mayo meme.
I text her and I said, hey, do you have a picture of you and Blade? Because I have a picture of Blade and I was going to tweet out, and I did. You can go back on my Twitter and look. I said, it's a Texas high school football thing you wouldn't understand. And she said she heard her phone go off. She screamed, and her mom knew too. So Rhonda's standing right there, and she's going, oh my God, did it happen? Did it happen? She goes, she just asked me for a picture with Blade. What the hell is she doing? And so anyway, literally 10 minutes before I got engaged, I was asking Mallory for a picture of Blade because I wanted to have a
giant blade of synthetic grass.
So if that's not the most on-brand thing that could have happened, I don't know what is.
Well, congratulations. We're thrilled for you.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to come along on this wedding planning journey with you.
It's scary.
We're going to get updates every day.
No, it's scary. There's so much.
We'll have plenty to talk about. Anyway, my big announcement.
Yes.
Max sleeping in a big boy bed.
# free Max.
Freed Max.
Freed Max. How is that going? Is he too free now?
Hits and misses. He fell asleep on the floor the other day, so. Anyway, congratulations, Pickle.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Brian, the new Duke of the Dorks.
Oh, gosh.
Hit the theme, Expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It's Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you'll listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show here in the year of our Lord, 2024. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Miss 305. Soon to be Mrs. 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi. Happy New Year,
Happy
people.
New Year, everybody.
I hope that it was a good Christmas break.
I hope it was a good break. It was a good break for all of us. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday.
It is not Monday.
Today's Tuesday. It's the most Monday-ass Tuesday of all time, but
Yes.
It's Tuesday. January 2nd, 2024. It is 331 days until Thanksgiving. Happy belated birthday to Mallory Hartley.
Yeah.
I don't know how this happened. I don't put people's birthdays, aside from, like, my wife and my kids, in my calendar thing, like on my devices. And yet, on every one of my devices, I was getting alerted the day, you know how it does, like, the day before? It's like, tomorrow's Mallory Hartley's birthday. Did you know tomorrow's Mallory Hartley's birthday? Computer, phone, watch, everything.
I wonder if it's because, since it is on a time of the year that we're usually not in office, if you're like, oh, I have to remember that, you know?
Yeah.
Either that or she's just everyone's favorite Mal Pal. We all know this. But, yeah, happy quarter life crisis. Halfway to 50.
Halfway to 50, yeah. It's episode 1711. On today's show, folks, let's get caught up on a few things that we missed while we were gone, including college football season is now over in the state of Texas. We'll talk about last night and a couple of the bowl things. Plus, we did name a Mr. Texas football while we were gone. We'll talk about that. Then back half the show, it's Tuesday in the off season, folks. And you know what that means.
It's time for Math Tuesday!
Math Tuesday's back.
Let's go!
We will.
True story. Step said at Pickle in the Slack yesterday, is Math Tuesday going to be back tomorrow? And I said, if Math Tuesday's not back, neither am I. I'm just not coming in until we have Math Tuesday.
You can get a long way with threatening me. So we'll have Math Tuesday and take a look at how well we did in our preseason Texas high school football predictions coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door? First four of the year.
Ooh, yeah.
First four of 2024.
Wow. Some numbers are the same. We do Daniel Agnew, jersey number 69, Aaron Arbuckle, and Big Jiggly water balloons. What a way to kick off the year, especially with a lot of people saying yeet.
Okay, I don't like that. But we can certainly say that it was a good start to the year. All right, Pickle. Let's talk a little bit about what we missed while we were gone. We were off for about 2 weeks, right? It ended up being, I think, 12 days. Yeah. I ended up being off. You were off a little bit longer, 2 full weeks, because you were not part of the
I was working from Houston, but I wasn't here at the show.
Yeah, you weren't here on the show. We haven't had a show since, I think, the 21st of December. So a few things that we missed. One of them, I guess we'll start with what happened last night. Last night, the College Football Playoff National Semifinal at the Sugar Bowl pitted the Texas Longhorns against the Washington Huskies. And I hate to break it to you if this is some breaking news, but Texas did not win.
They did not.
No. Washington 37 and Texas 31 is your final in a game that was honestly...
It was fun,
it was,
and then it was boring.
It was not that, like...
And then it got really fun.
It was a 6-point game that didn't really feel like a 6-point game until, like, the final 55 seconds or something.
Yeah, and then it got wild.
And then it became very clear that it was a 6-point game. This was the kind of game that I think Texas fans feared. And what I mean by that is, if you take a look at what Washington is particularly good at, what they're very good at is airing it out, using Michael Penix Jr., their outstanding quarterback, and their spectacular receiving corps.
And the other thing is, and Mallory and I talked about this last night while we were watching, Penix deserves a lot of credit for the ground game that he had.
Yep.
Because he is always airing it out, and he was not scared to get like 15 yards up the gut on multiple occasions.
He ran for 31 yards.
Yeah.
And they were big yards because that was essentially those are the only chunk running plays they had. They were not able to run the ball on Texas, which I think we also anticipated would be the case, that the middle of Washington's line was going to have trouble with guys like Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy, and they did. But I think Texas fans, if you were to say to Texas fans what worries you, you would say, all right, our secondary against their receivers.
Yes.
And especially if we cannot pressure Penix off the edge, then we're going to have trouble. And for all we've talked about the defense for Texas, especially at the linebacker and especially on the interior line, the edge rushers have only been okay. and the back end has only been okay. And going up against Elite, it became very clear early that Washington was going to be able to have some success. Jalen Polk hit a big Lufkin's own, by the way, had a big catch that set up the first touchdown. They went back and forth. I thought that I have a couple of notes here. One of them is I think Texas got away from the run way too quickly in this game. Now I understand that the game state changed in a sense where they were unable to, they were chasing the game, and so as a result they had to take to the air.
Right.
But they were having some good success on the ground with Baxter and Blue. And for those guys to only have a combined 18 carries is, in my mind, a problem.
Especially after the stat line for like Worthy and all those guys, they combined for like 7 yards of receiving in the first half. Like, what are you doing at that point?
The other thing is, Mitchell and Worthy had 1 catch in the first half. They did not involve Mitchell and Worthy, who are your game breakers, nearly enough, in my estimation. Here's the other thing, and it's uncomfortable to say this, but it's true. Quinn Ewers, nope. Wasn't good enough. Plain and simple. Especially that first half. And I would say especially the first 3 quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't start letting him rip until the 4th. Man, the thing...
when they were chasing.
The thing that got me, that I was just shocked about, and I'd have to go back and look exactly what down it was, but the play call at the very end of the game when they were going for the end zone for the first time, or what we figured would have been going for the end zone for the first time, the little, like, screen pass to Jadon Blue was a terrible play call.
There were some real questionable plays.
Terrible, especially from an offensive mind like Steve Sarkisian. What was that?
There were some weird play calls on both sides.
Yeah.
There was a play in the second quarter where Washington was lining up for fourth and 2 or 4th and 1, and they just first of all they decided to go for it when I think they were in field goal range, and the other thing was maybe long field goal range. But the other thing was they were like, what if we just run quarterback draw, like up the middle? It's like, that's where you're the weakest. Yeah. Like, don't try to run the ball. You haven't been able to do it all game. I thought that was a really bizarre. I thought both coaches coached this game a little tight. Yeah. Which was interesting.
Yeah, that little screen pass at the end. I mean, we just sat there and were just shocked. Like, what are you doing?
I have some serious questions about the play calling for Texas and about their game plan. Especially when it became apparent, in my opinion, early on that Quinn Ewers was not on. You know what I mean? He was not as locked in as we've seen. Now, maybe he's hurt. We don't know the situation, but I didn't think he played particularly well. And especially when you're able to run the ball as well as they did, knowing that you're going to need to, especially if that keeps your defense fresh and keeps them off the field, so Michael Penix doesn't throw for 430 yards on you. I thought
he was lights out.
I thought it was some really questionable play calling. But the season's over for Texas. It's weird. For all 4 of the semifinalists, going into it, I think we all thought all 4 had a chance to win it. All 4 looked like they could do it. I think if you were to line up those 2 games again, I think Washington probably wins it 6 times and Texas wins it 4, right? And I think Michigan probably wins it 6 times and Alabama wins it 4.
Those were the 2 best semifinal games I think we've had in the stretch of the college football playoffs.
It's the best pair of semifinals I think we've ever had. Because normally you have one good one and one stinker, at best.
Yeah. Like last year when Georgia destroyed someone, and then TCU beat Michigan.
TCU beat Michigan in a fantastic game. Georgia beat Ohio State, I think.
I don't remember.
Someone.
It proves that it wasn't a very good game.
All that's to say, it was, in my estimation, the best day of semifinals. Texas comes on the wrong side of it. I thought Texas was the more physical team, but I think that Washington's advantages at the key spots, specifically on the outside and at quarterback, shone through, and that was the end. In the end, Washington had the better quarterback, and Washington had the better receivers, and that ended up being the difference.
Yep. I really like that they were on New Year's Day rather than New Year's Eve. I know it's just because they didn't want to compete with the NFL on Sunday, but it was I did like that a lot.
It was worth it. Obviously this is the last year of the 14 playoffs. They'll move to the 12-team playoff next year.
That schedule's already set.
Yeah.
For the next 2 years, actually.
But the college football season in Texas is now over. Other bowl games. What other bowl games did you catch? Did you?
I watched a ton of the Texas State and Rice bowl game. That one was fun.
My mom was there. My mom, who's a Texas State grad, Southwest Texas grad, to be clear. And a number of my other family were there, and what a scene it was.
Yeah,
there.
Man,
you could tell
long
Texas
game.
State had been waiting. For
oh
that.
yeah. Well, considering they sold the stadium out of alcohol, first off,
Yes.
second off, that was such a long game.
Yes.
It was really, really long.
Let's see. UTSA got their first ever bowl win. Congratulations to the Roadrunners.
SMU. What happened in that one?
Woof.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was really bad. That was just disappointing.
Yeah. I want to dig into it more. I want to go back and watch the whole thing stem to stern, like lock in. I was keeping an eye on it, but I didn't really lock into it.
Yeah.
But I thought they were probably the biggest disappointment of the bowl season. Now, part of it, certainly, I'm of the opinion. This is a broad take. Bowls are a measure of how much you want to be there.
Yes, and that was a
and
very
SMU,
bad draw to get in the Fenway Bowl.
For SMU, certainly they had eyes on an outside shot at New Year's Six. Considering what Liberty did, maybe they should have been in New Year's Six.
Good Lord.
But they, there was a little bit of not wanting to be there, which I thought was disappointing on their case. Yes, ma'am.
The other one from a national perspective that was just like, oh, okay, was Florida State getting absolutely blown out of the water.
Wow, but again,
they didn't have many people playing.
I think 15 starters opted out.
Yeah.
And again, we were at the Cotton Bowl. We are both at the Cotton Bowl. I was there as a Missouri grad with my wife. You were there working. That was perfectly an encapsulation of who wanted to be there.
Yep. Because Missouri absolutely did, and Ohio State was on their fifth-string quarterback by the time.
By the time the game ended, they were on their fifth-string quarterback, and they're like, whatever.
That being said,
take nothing away from Mizzou. You don't apologize for beating Ohio State.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing is that with non-playoff bowls, you have to consider like exactly how much they actually care about it. So, but the national championship game is set at Washington and Michigan.
And that happens Monday.
Yes, it happens Monday. So it's a quick turnaround. And it's in Houston. It's in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So, that is going on down there, but it will not involve a Texas team, sadly. Okay, one other thing while we were gone, and that is that we named a Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year. You may remember that we are partnered with the TaxAct Texas Bowl, where Oklahoma State beat Texas A&M. But we partnered with the TaxAct Texas Bowl to name the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year, wherein we announced this. I think it was on December 22nd.
Yes.
That the 2023 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year is Willis quarterback DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway was this of course recognizes the most outstanding player in Texas high school football each year. This is a guy who set a 6A record throwing for 58 touchdowns, threw for 4,631 yards on more than 72% passing. Also ran for nearly 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns, 5,600 total yards and 73 touchdowns in just 14 games, leading Willis to the third round of the playoffs for just the second time in the program's 95-year history. It's always a big debate around here. This is something we take very seriously. We don't throw those around casually, and we considered we had 10 finalists, and can tell you with assurances that all 10 finalists were sincerely and considered for the award. But in the end, we felt that DJ Lagway was the most outstanding player in Texas high school football in 2023. and a deserving member of the Mr. Texas Football family now. So, DJ Lagway, your 2023 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year. A ton of stuff on TexasFootball.com if you want to go there. We've always got great stuff.
Including breaking news. That's
Including some
now
breaking
up
news.
on
Is that
our site.
now up there? I guess we can do the breaking news now. Breaking news from our own, of all people, Corey Hogue.
Let's
I
go.
want it to be noted that Corey Hogue scooped Matt Stepp.
Yeah.
Sources have confirmed to Corey Hogue of Dave Campbell's Texas Football that Stephen F. Austin is going to hire a new offensive coordinator, and it will be Lovejoy head coach Chris Ross. He will be leaving Lovejoy to become the offensive coordinator at Stephen F. Austin. He's a Quanah native. He has been in the college ranks before. He was on the staff at Boise State for a couple of years before returning back to Texas. Most recently, he's been at Lovejoy. He was at Red Oak before that. He's been at Prosper. He had some great success at Cedar Park as well. But Chris Ross will be the next offensive coordinator at Stephen F. Austin, leaving Lovejoy to take that job, according to our own Corey Hogue on TexasFootball.com. It is coaching change season.
Yep.
So,
Matt Stepp's about to be back in his bag.
Matt Stepp getting in that bag again, getting in his New Year's bag. Anyway, that is what we missed while we were gone. We are at Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, the much anticipated return of Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
But first, a word from these goods and services.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR Now. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR Now.
Pickle, Texas's loss last night in the Sugar Bowl, of course, brings to a close football season, if you're not counting, Cowboys or Texans, within the state of Texas, which means that it's the off season. And if it's the off season and it's Tuesday, then you better believe it's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday. Math Tuesday.
That's right. It's Math Tuesday.
Let's
Perhaps our
go.
most celebrated segment. It's something that the people have been asking for.
It's me. I'm the people.
It's what people crave in the off season. It's that little bit of juice that gets us through the long off season. It's Math Tuesday, in which we take a look at the numbers about football across the state of Texas, and we're going to start by just taking a look and calling our own foul.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we're an organization that covers football from stem to stern, from rooter to tutor, from tip to tail.
Yep.
And most, the place where that really all comes together the most is in our annual summer magazine. Of course, the summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the quote-unquote Bible of Texas football. And aside from having breakdowns and analysis and all the things that you come to expect from us, of kind of going in depth on the 47 college teams across state and recruiting, and of course the 1,500 plus Texas high school football teams, we also make a lot of predictions, right? Something we do. We go on there. We make a prediction for every district. We make a prediction for every classification.
We do
say,
love
hey,
predictions.
We like predictions. We like to put ourselves out there and say, all right,
Here's what we think.
This is what we think is going to happen in the season ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But that only works if people actually think that we know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I think it's really important. I think it's something you and I have worked very hard on, is to build a sense of transparency, a sense of accountability.
Oh,
here
yeah.
At Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We want you to go and tell us how well or how poorly we did.
Mm-hmm.
It's important because we want you to trust us, and we want you to understand our thought process so that you know we're hopefully, ideally, not blowing out the rear end. And so I went back, and of course I should mention that especially on the high school side, we get a lot of help from our friend Jerry Forrest. Jerry Forrest at pigskinprep.com. Our outrageously talented and dedicated data guy. There's got to be a better word. Data analyst probably works better. Who helps us kind of sort through all the data
guy.
to help us come up with our predictions.
Yeah, and the unfeeling robot.
Yes. And so let's take a look, Pickle, at how we did. And we'll go from macro to micro, okay? We're going to take a look only at the UIL, Texas high school football season. And if you go from the big picture, of the 12 state champions in the UIL, Texas high school football in 2023, we correctly projected 5 of them. Duncanville, DeSoto, Aledo, Albany, and Benjamin. Those are we got 5 out of 12 at the beginning of the year. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you're considering you're trying to project these things out and all these things. For what it's worth, we also had 3 number 2s, okay? Gordon, Gunner, and Timpson were all number 2 to start the year.
Okay.
Behind Westbrook, Refugio, and Canadian, respectively. There were 2 others that were in the top 5. Gilmer was ranked 5th. Malakoff was ranked 5th. But we did pick Franklin and Carthage to win those state championships, respectively.
Which, shocking that we would pick the 2
defending
times.
champs. 582, we picked Melissa. That was incorrect. It was Port Neches Groves, who was number 6. And if you're looking for our big whiff, quote-unquote big whiff, it was Anna. Anna in 4A Division 1. Although they were ranked 8th. To me, as long as you're in the top 10, I'm like, okay, I can live with that. I can live with that. I'd prefer you
top
be
5
in the top.
Is great.
Top 5's great.
Yeah.
Top 10 is a miss, but it's a good miss.
Yeah,
you know
especially especially depending on graduation rates. Those are the ones like Anna when they're losing their best quarterback that they had ever had and all of that stuff. It's like, okay, I don't feel bad missing on that. It's not like someone like Gunner that's coming back with their whole slew of crew.
Absolutely. Of the 24 state finalists, we got 11 of them right. 11 out of 24. Duncanville, North Shore, DeSoto, Aledo, Franklin, Albany, Mart, Westbrook, Gordon, Benjamin, and Oglesby. The teams that we missed, let me see if I can pull this up. The teams that we missed were First of all, I want to start at the bottom. Not the bottom, but at the smallest classifications. We got all 4 6-man teams. State champions, state finalists. They both, Westbrook, Gordon, Benjamin, and Oglesby all started 1-2 to start the year. So we're going to take a win on that one. And 6-man can be kind of hard to win. We also got 2 at Division 2, exactly right.
Yeah.
Albany and Mart. The teams we missed,
So
we had Refugio Hawley in 2A Division 1. Didn't work out. 3A Division 2, we had Canadian and Harmony. Missed on, obviously, both of those. It ended up being Gunner and Tidehaven, which were 2 and 4, by the way. I will say in 3A Division 2. 3A D1, we had Franklin and Brock. Got a half right. And
Brock played in the state semifinal against Malakoff.
In a one-score heater.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 4A D2, Carthage and Silsby.
Yeah.
That one didn't go right. We had Gilmer. Gilmer was at number 5, and they beat Belleville, who started the year at number 8. 4AD1, we had China Spring and Bernie. Neither one of them made it, but it was Chapel Hill, who was number 3, and the aforementioned Anna, who was number 8. 582, we had Melissa and Fort Bend Marshall. Ended up being South Oak Cliff number 2, and Port Neches Groves at number 6 in the title game. 581, we had Aledo. Nailed it. We had them playing College Station. They instead played Smithson Valley, who was number 6, and beat College Station. And then in 6A, we had Duncanville, and North Shore, and DeSoto. So 3 of the 4. The ones that we missed was Humble Summer Creek. Summer Creek started the year 21st. So that was the team. But again, I'm not here to make excuses, but one of the things that we got wrong was we projected Katy to go to the Division II bracket, and we thought they were going to play in the Division II state championship game. They obviously went to the D1 bracket. It didn't work out. Regional champs. So state semifinalists. 28 out of 48. Okay. 58, nearly 60% on regional champs. I'll take that. That's okay. Not bad. District champs. 138 out of 192. Almost 72% on district champs. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. And of the 704 UIL Texas High School football playoff game teams, the 704 teams that made the playoffs, we projected 83.5% of them, 588 of them, which means that there were only, let me do some quick math here on my calculator because I'm bad at math and didn't pay attention. There were 116 teams that we did not predict to make the playoffs that did. Or vice versa, 116 teams that we predicted to make the playoffs that didn't.
That's one of those that it's just like on like the picks video and stuff. Anything over 80% is pretty.
I think that's exactly
pretty
right.
impressive,
especially when you're talking about the playoff teams.
Because most of those, I would bet if we did the math, I would bet most of those were maybe we had them as the 5th seed and the 4th seed ended up dropping out.
I would love,
you know,
I would need to dig in and see where our biggest whiffs were of like teams that like.
Who did we think were going to be in the top 2 in their district and didn't make the playoffs?
Going like 1 and
but
9
it's like
or
anywhere
like
from
that.
3 to 4 and the 15 sneaking in or losing off a tiebreaker or stuff like that. For 116 of those teams is not bad.
Or vice versa. We mentioned we saw on when Ganado made the state semifinals and they played against Timpson, right? And they had that run through about how Dave Campbell's picked them 4th in district, which is true. Now they didn't win their district. You know, Refugio won their district, but they knocked off Refugio when it mattered most. But that's an example of a team that we did predict to make the playoffs, but certainly didn't predict them to make to go as far as they did. So this is just kind of top line level of how we did. Overall, I thought we did okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll take it all of these. There's things obviously we'd love to be perfect. But that's probably not going to happen because Texas high school football is unpredictable.
I would be mad if we were completely perfect.
It'd be boring.
Yeah, like that would be like the worst season.
It would be boring. Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be fun. But anyway, that is how we fared on our Texas high school football predictions in the preseason. Why don't you let us know what you think of our predictions? Just send us an email. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
Man, I didn't even think of anything to say here because I was so excited about Math Tuesday. Like,
I
I had, like, my whole anticipation for coming back today.
I know.
I didn't want to come back, but then I
know.
remembered it was Math Tuesday
Yeah.
this morning, and that helped me a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, that's really all I got. I was so excited for Math Tuesday.
Welcome back, Math Tuesday.
Welcome back, Math Tuesday.
Is Brian going to take your name?
I'm sure he will not. But,
We're going to fight the patriarchy
yeah,
here?
I think that would be better.
I think we all agree that would be better.
Yeah.
All due respect, Brian. You're my boy.
There have been some comments saying they were going to miss Pickle. I don't anticipate anyone not calling me Pickle. Even it's going to be like.
Are you going to change your name?
I probably. There might be a hyphen. It's in the talks.
I am not calling you.
No, it's
by
just
your new
like.
last name.
Do we ever call Aaron Hardigan Aaron Wilkerson?
Yeah, but she
No.
also goes by Aaron Hardigan on the air.
Mm-hmm.
So she is officially Aaron Wilkerson.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know, Will Wilkerson, our digital guy, is married to Aaron Hardigan.
Hardigan, yeah.
But
that will probably be my route legally.
Oh yeah,
I will
of
change my
course.
name.
I ain't ever calling you.
On air, it's just gonna
I ain't
be
ever
Pickle.
calling you by the new name.
It's gonna be weird
Sorry.
to introduce myself as something different.
Yeah, it took my wife a while too.
Yeah.
But she also got big upgrade.
Well, see, my mom, and see, that's
Tepper
what's funny. Like,
family.
my mom's maiden name was Jones, so like, think about that
Yeah,
upgrade
Jones to
from
Pickle.
Jones to Pickle. That's
you
awesome.
are. I will say, you're not getting the big alphabet bump anywhere.
No.
Like, there's people who were. There was a girl that I went to high school with, whose last name it started with like a Y. I think it was a Z. It started with a Z, and then she married a guy who like Adams.
That's funny. So yeah, she went
Yeah.
all the way up. Yeah, no.
That's right. Her maiden name was Zoda, and then she went to Adams. I'm like, that is
Yeah.
whiplash.
That's a big bump. No, I'm actually going down in the alphabet. For those who don't know, my last name will be Spraggins.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Anyway, weddings tomorrow, guys. Here live on Texas Football Today. That's
Oh
gonna do
my
it for us.
God.
There's been a little bit of
I
video
can't
of
think of anything worse.
Follow us on Twitter. TTF, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell.
First
Follow us on
through the
Instagram.
door of the
Follow
wedding.
us on Instagram.
Welcome in, big jiggly water balloon.
And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.